Alright, what's up, everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're going to be talking about Ja Morant's return to the Memphis Grizzlies last night. A very exciting return game for him. We're talking about that. Talk about how good the Grizzlies can be from this point moving forward. Now with their superstar back and all the stuff like that. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, so if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. Link to my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that in the description down below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So last night, Ja Morant returned after a 25-game suspension from the league. A lot of people coming into the season, a lot of people thought maybe the Grizzlies throughout the first 25 games can maybe stay afloat. They have a solid enough team. They can stay afloat. And then when Ja comes back, they can really go and hit their stride. It did not work like that. The Grizzlies were 6-19 in the 25 games that Ja missed. They're the last team to get a win. Just did not look good at all. Just saw a lot of problems with this Grizzlies team. They're missing a lot. Also had a lot of injuries as well, even besides the Ja suspension. And it just did not look good on their Memphis. But now Ja Morant returned last night for the first time, and wow, did he put on a show? It looked like the Pelicans were going to win early. The Pelicans, they did outscore Memphis early in the second quarter, 39-16. But then the Grizzlies have a big third quarter, outscoring New Orleans 36-27, and a big fourth, outscoring New Orleans 38-26, mostly led by Ja Morant. In the last 2 minutes, Ja really took over. Got a steal on Brandon Ingram late, to give the Grizzlies possession back. Then he also scored 8 of the last 10 Memphis points, including the last 3 buckets for New Orleans, for Memphis, and hit the game-winning layup. And yeah, Memphis now 7-19 on the season. Ja Morant, 34 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Shot 12 for 24 from the field, 10 for 12 from the free throw line. Just was really, really good. You know what I mean? Really, really good. Just showed who he was. As soon as he stepped on that court, the Grizzlies looked like a better team. He's making passes, finding his teammates. Guys like, Desmond, Jaren were still working with Ja. He's making great passes, but then just putting pressure on the rim. Obviously one of the best in the league at getting to the rim and, making explosive plays at the rim. And he was doing that. Just was a guy the Grizzlies can go to and say, here, Ja, we need something. Make something happen for us. And he was doing it. Call 12. He's really doing that all game. It was so fun to see it back on the court. The energy he brings, the highlight plays he does. He's an amazing player. An amazing player, amazing marketing player. He's so fun to watch with the energy and all the stuff like that. I loved it. And to cap it off with that game winner, it was just, you couldn't ask for, it was like storybook. It's like a storybook written in his return game. But now, the Grizzlies, he's back. He's back officially. Memphis is going to have him, hopefully, for the rest of the year. Hopefully, if no injuries or anything else happens. Hopefully, not praying for it. But, yeah, Ja's back. The Grizzlies have their star back. And now, how good can they be? There was a great comeback win last night for them. They're 1-0 with Morant now. They're 7-19. They're still 13th in the West, and they still have a lot of ground to make up. They're still 6.5 games out of the last playing spot by the Phoenix Suns, who did also lose last night. So that's good for them. Yeah, they're 6.5 games back of the play-in, and if they want to be in the top 6, right now they're 9 games behind. So they really got to make up some ground. The Grizzlies going 6-19 in the 25 games Ja missed was not great. If they were like 10-13 or 10-15, maybe. If they went like 10-15 or like 11-14, like maybe they could have a chance. They'll only be like a few games behind. But 6-19, they really put themselves in a hole. They're tied right now with the Blazers, and the Blazers won last night, but the Blazers are trying to tank. Good thing is they're above the Spurs, so they're not dead last. But they have a lot of ground to cover, a lot of ground to make up. And of course, 25 games in, we still have like 60 something. Not even 60, right? It's like 50 something games left to play. So there's a lot of time to make up ground. It's just very tough, especially how deep the West is. Like literally the separation between 10 and 6 is like 2.5 games. Like a 3-game win streak, and you can go from the 10 seed to like the 6 seed like that. The West is super, super tight. Memphis is kind of a little bit down or out of it. So they really have to make up ground. They could do it. Jazz, I don't think they're, trying to win, and there might be trading some people at the trade deadline, so they can jump the Jazz, the Warriors. After that, though, the 11 or the 12 in the West is like, man, that's really really tough. Like you got the Warriors still who are now on a 3-game win streak. They're not an easy beat. You got the Suns, the Rockets are a good team now. The Lakers are in there. Pelicans, Clippers are on fire. The Mavericks are still good. The Kings, Nuggets, Timberwolves, Thunder at the top. Like it's tough. It's a gauntlet out there in the West. So the Grizzlies really, Ja Morant's really gonna have to come in and be Superman if they want to do it. It's gonna be very very tough to do to get this team maybe into the play-in. Unless they just go on a big hot streak and they win like 7 in a row, and like everything's clicking and they look like the same Grizzlies that we last saw with Ja Morant. Then maybe. But it's also tough because it's not even just Ja was out and now Ja's back and everything's gonna be fine. They still have a lot of injuries. Marcus Smart still is injured. Luke Kennard, one of their best 3-point shooters, or spacing is still there. Steven Adams is gonna be out around for the rest of the year. Brandon Clark, I don't even know when he's gonna come back. They still have a lot of injuries to a lot of like kind of key rotational players to this team. Like they're still rolling out guys like Vince Williams and John Conchar. David Roddy plays a lot of minutes. Zaire Williams plays a lot of minutes. Like it's still not a great team, you know. So we got to take into consideration not just Ja missing that time, but a lot of key rotational players are missing that time, and they're still going to be missing time. Again, Steven Adams and Brandon Clark were 2 huge pieces. They're probably not going to play this year. And we saw last year that as soon as Steven Adams and Brandon Clark went out, the Grizzlies fell. That was a big reason why they lost in the first round to the Lakers and stuff like that, because they just didn't have any interior presence. Jaren Jackson is good defensively, especially gets a lot of blocks, but we all know he's not really a rebounder. He's not really a true traditional big man that rebounds and does all the stuff like that, So, like, after that, like, Bismack Biyombo just got signed to a regular contract, so shout out to him. But is Bismack Biyombo really, like, he's a solid backup center, solid big to get some rebounds and a block here and there, but, like, are really relying on Bismack Biyombo to be our center full time? Like, I don't really know. So, yeah, Memphis still has a lot of trouble, still have a lot of injury problems. They got to get Ja acclimated back into the system, even though last night he looked really good. But still, they got a lot of time left, but they got a lot of ground to make up. And the West is not getting any easier at any point in time. Like I don't see any of the top 10 teams in the Western Conference trading off or selling right now. So like it's going to be a lot. It's going to be very, very tough. Can they? It's not impossible, obviously. They could go on a little win streak, and a team like the Pelicans or Rockets or something can fall a little bit. The Grizzlies can kind of jump some teams, get some good wins against. Well, it was a good win against the Pelicans. There's a team in the playoffs. They got to get wins like that. Wins against the Pelicans, wins against the Suns, wins against the Lakers, wins against teams like that. Maybe they're trying to make up ground. But it's going to be very, very hard. It's going to be very, very hard to do. The Grizzlies might be able to do it. I don't know. We'll see how good Taylor Jenkins can be. If Ja Morant can keep this up, which he probably could. Desmond Bane is having an amazing all-star-like season. How do his numbers look? Last night he had 21. He had a very solid game. He had some big three-pointers late in this game as well. 21 points, 8 for 19 shooting. He's not going to have the ball in his hands as much as he used to have. So his stats might go down, but he still could be productive, But yeah, after that, looking at this team, they started Vince Williams and Bismack Biyombo are starters on this team, man. Like, it's really tough, Of course, for now, before Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard hopefully come back soon. I don't know the timetable exactly, but hopefully they come back as also 2 huge spots in the rotation for them. Derrick Rose also didn't play last night as well. He's got injured. So, yeah, the Grizzlies just suffering so many injuries, man. And they started off so bad. They had such a bad start that it was like, dang. We thought at least maybe they could stay, maybe not even above 500, but maybe around 500-ish, maybe 2 games below 500, be okay. And then Ja comes back, and then they can, go. But they started off bad. They're the last team to get one. Didn't they start 0-6 or something like that before they got their first win? They won multiple 5-something game losing streaks. I think they said last night they've only won 1 game at home this year, which is crazy. It's not. It didn't look good in Memphis, but now Ja's back. Hopefully he can stay back because he's really electric and really a star. He's a star when he does play out. The Grizzlies look like a whole different team when Ja was out there. Like everyone was getting involved. The energy was different. Everything was just different when Ja was there. So yeah, hopefully, maybe. We'll see. It's gonna be very, very hard. Again, I've said it multiple times. It's gonna be very hard to do for them to come all the way back and make a play-in or even a playoff spot. But if they make the play-in, they'll have a chance. In a 1-game scenario, Ja Morant could turn up and Desmond Bane can hit a couple of shots and stuff like that. But just getting to the playoffs and doing all that stuff is going to be very, very tough. But, they can do it. They could. I'm not saying it's impossible. There's a real possibility that it can happen, especially with so much time. We've got 50 something games left to play. There's so much time for them to, make up ground. They got to get good wins over Western Conference teams. They got to go on little win streaks, go on little 4 or 5 game win streaks here and there, to really make up ground. But yeah, I'm very excited to see 12 is back. Very excited to see them back, see how they play the rest of the year, and excited to see if they really can make it happen. They can make a play-in or playoff push, from now. But yeah, it's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, and also like that. I really appreciate it. It helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.